Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jerry with Da Bears Talk, and today we're going to be doing everything you need to know about breakout talent in the preseason. Ian Wheeler, obviously a short stint in the preseason, but very exciting and a fun stat line to look at. As I'll just get right into that: 5 carries, 43 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and some very powerful running. So Ian Wheeler is out of Howard, which I honestly had to look up. I didn't even know what that was or where that was, and it's Howard University. It's a private college in Washington D.C., part of the uh, mid Eastern Athletic Conference (MEAC). But yeah, so Ian Wheeler, actually coming out of high school, I know Howard has a stat there that says his 40 time was 4.57. Now, when the Bears did whatever check with him, they have it listed on their page as a 4.39, which isn't pretty fast for his size at 5'11", 205 at times, weighing more than that. Also, a 4.52 shuttle and a 38.5-inch vertical is massive. And that just kind of goes to show the power that he has. He is 22 years old, and he did play 5 years at Howard University. And that's where the college career is very underwhelming. You have 177 carries, 1,154 yards, and 1 touchdown. And that's in 5 years. Now, granted, the first 2 years, he didn't really play very much. But even those next 3 years, he still didn't play very much. He just got to play at all. The first 2 years, he didn't really play at all. And then the receiving, there's really not, to say that that's over the course of 5 years is just not great. Another benefit is that he did return 14 kickoffs in the last year for 370 yards, 26.4 yards per return, which ranks 12th nationally, which I do think is pretty huge for, especially with this new kickoff rule. If he can catch the ball and actually return it, obviously we've tested our similar sized guy in Velus Jones, who was supposed to be this, little bit bigger, stronger, athletic guy that can return kicks really well, and he can't catch the ball. Seemingly Ian Wheeler can do that. We'll have to wait and see until we can see some more tape on him. But let's go ahead and take a look, because when I go over the pros and cons, I'd really like to look at the video. So let's actually look at some highlights from the preseason. All right, so obviously Ian Wheeler didn't come in until very late in the game. This is his first play. Bears obviously have a big lead already, but just watch on this play how well he just keeps trucking along. This is him right here in the backfield. Just he keeps moving his feet. It's very exciting just to see him. He takes the hit there, just never stops and just falls backwards with an aggressive flip. It's just the way that he runs the ball is just tough. And it reminds me, one of my favorites was David Montgomery. When he was on the Bears, I loved that he just didn't stop chopping his feet. I believe this is a farther run along the outside. I also can't help but see just Charles Tillman, Peanut Tillman in the backfield with dreads and 33. But anyway, let's see how he runs here around the outside, finds the hole and, makes him miss, and then just never stops chopping his feet. It takes 4 people to bring him down. And that's what you love to see. You get, what is that, Sweeney on the outside with a nice block. But yeah, he just lowers his shoulder, and it took 4 people to get him down there. And we got another one. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, this is where he just kind of trucks in, but this is the second touchdown. But I guess what I wanted to highlight there is he is consistently powering through people. So just another angle here. He's quick too for his size, I think, from what it looks like. But yeah, I just wanted to show you my pros. So you kind of just saw him there. Keeps chopping his feet. He has that top gear we didn't really get to see there. I saw that more from actually from his college highlights. And then the kick return potential. But I'll break that down. So my whole comment on David Montgomery is not a big guy, but whenever he was, in a group of people, he was covering up the ball, and he would just keep chopping his feet and just keep trying to push forward. Now, Ian Wheeler seemingly has some strong legs and is a very powerful runner that just runs with heart, like an old school running back. And I love to see that. It just seems like there's not as many of those out there today. So I really like the heart that this guy plays with. The 4.39 40 time is impressive for me, especially with how hard he runs. Makes you think of Obviously, he doesn't have the size for it, but when I think of like powerful guys that are really fast, you really just have Derrick Henry, who can run away from people as well as run you over. And so it's just a lot of positives for me with this guy. It just, I don't know how he finds in such a crowded running back room. We for sure getting rid of Herbert if he's going to move his way up? And then where does Roschon Johnson fall in? I will say, even though we've only seen a very small sample size, if Khalil Herbert has value, I would hate to get rid of him because he's been able to consistently get 5 yards a carry when he's in. He doesn't have that top speed that I'm seeing with Ian Wheeler, where once you break away, you can actually outrun people down the field. Even on Khalil Herbert's biggest runs, he gets run down. Same thing would happen with David Montgomery. They're not going to break away and get a big play. They're unfortunately just going to get a large gain and get run down. And I really like that positive part of Ian Wheeler. And I think that benefit would, for me, scoot him almost ahead of Khalil Herbert, especially if Herbert has that trade value still. There was talks of the Cowboys getting a fourth. But I just love the heart that this guy runs with, even though it's a small sample size. You could definitely talk me into that, especially if Herbert's got value. If you're going to leave Roschon to be, another kind of like power back that honestly ended up doing a lot of receiving in Texas. But I think Ian Wheeler definitely could find a place in the offense. And at this point, I'd rather have him over Velus Jones. And you could convince me on Khalil Herbert, even though it's a small sample size. I hate that I'm saying that. I see something in him with this powerful running that seemingly not a lot of guys have, as well as the breakaway speed to be able to get away from people. I really like it. And so yeah, let me know what you think of him down below. I guess I didn't really go over the cons. So the only real cons are the crowded running back room, as I mentioned. Not a lot of room for him. You wouldn't typically keep 5 or 6 running backs, and it's seeming like that would have to be the case if he's going to stick around. I guess kick return, if he ends up being the guy there, could help. But also all the film is just against some mid-Eastern athletic conference. I don't even know. I didn't recognize any of the schools when I was watching clips. So he hasn't really played against great talent. And even when he came in this preseason game, it was against all depth people. So I could be way off on it. But there's one thing that you can't deny, and it's the chopping the feet and the hard running. He's going to be able to do that against anybody. It's just going to be how effective is it. So let me know what you think of Ian Wheeler down below. Do you think that he belongs on the roster? I think he could. You got to see more, but I really think he could. So comment that down below. Like the video. Subscribe for more. We're going to do more of these, as well as more college football content and always the food reviews. So thank you for watching and have a great day.